Are you ready for? Are you ready for?
Champion of Light is a perk that I'm pretty sure most of the community was pretty excited to see come out. When you have a flashlight and you're shining the flashlight, you have 50% haste. When you successfully blind the killer, you also gain 20% hindered for 6 seconds. This perk goes on cooldown for 60 seconds. The first few matches of the day, I tried to get the Adept, and finally I did get it thanks to the help of my teammates. Now in this clip, Billy has Lightborn, so it does make trying out Champion of Light a little more difficult. But it did throw me with the haste of the perk when trying to get a blind at the pallet that it was kind of quick and I wasn't expecting it to be so fast, and I kind of fumbled the flashlight there. It is a pretty fun perk to run. Unfortunately, I did not get any blinds today running the update because either we ran into quite a bit of Lightborn Franklins and killers who just are smart enough to keep their back to the survivors who are carrying flashlights. But it was certainly a fun perk, and I think probably the best thing to come out of the Alan Wake perks. Another one of the Alan Wake perks is Boon Illumination. Survivors inside the boon's radius can see the auras of all chests and all gens in a 24-meter range. So just like other boons, you'll kneel by the dull totem and you'll bless it, and after blessing this totem, those are the effects that will come into play. Seeing a boon perk come with Alan Wake wasn't something that I was overly excited about because I don't really run boons. After running Boon Illumination today, it was actually kind of nice to be able to see all the gens, and it really did help my teammates. Now, we joked about it while the totem was up, and where's the gens? Oh, there's the gens. But I wasn't expecting it to actually go that hard. Now, I don't think that we're going to see a whole lot of Boon Illumination. You might see it in solo queue, just like you do see boons peppered in there anyways. Do I think it's a good perk in a group, in a Swift, so to speak? Yeah, I do. I think it could probably help a lot. It takes out the question of having to ask your teammates where the other gens are. You just see them and you go where you need to go. Mount Ormond might be the most favorite map amongst survivors, and probably most killers as well. Do I think Ormond needed an update? I really don't think it needed it. I think other maps like Swamp have been calling for a rework for a very long time. Do I think that the rock wall took up a lot of space and probably was unnecessary? Sure. Seeing some tiles being put in there is not such a bad thing. There are a couple different variations with some different tiles and rocks, picnic tables, and things like that in this area on different versions of Ormond. But unfortunately, I have to say the one you're looking at here in this clip is probably the best variation. You at least have a couple tiles here. When I say tiles, I mean places that have pallets that you can actually loop at. There seems to be 2 other variations that really don't have anything but picnic tables and some rocks. Having this wide open space with no pallets makes it very difficult to be able to last and make it to another tile. It's kind of just a dead space right smack in the middle of the map. I will say I did not spend a whole lot of time on Ormond today. I didn't see it a whole lot, which is strange because with an update, you usually are put on the map that gets the update quite a few times to the point that you almost get sick of it. But we had to bring Ormond today to even see it, so that does surprise me on an update day. But as we get used to Ormond not having the rock wall in it and having these changes on these different variations of maps, I'm sure we'll get used to it and Ormond will feel like home again. While I have run different perks that have to do with flashlights and blinds, and even perks like all the different boons, I have run all those in my loadouts at some given point. But I don't think I've ever run Repressed Alliance in a loadout ever. But with today's update being so heavily focused around generators, I had to try it out, especially now that I would think that killers are going to be running perks that have less to do with them coming over and kicking the gen and more about wrapping the gen, like Grim Embrace and Corrupt. Even Ruin helps them in a different kind of way where they don't have to kick the gen. Running Repressed Alliance was actually pretty fun to run against some of these killers who want to come over and kick the gen with Pop, or even something like Call of Brine. It is a nice play against anybody who wants to come and kick the gen for any given reason at any point in the game. Whether the gen is pumping, it could even be 50. Having Repressed Alliance is something I might think more about running, depending on how the generators and killers and regression might go from here on out. With gens being the big topic of the update, I definitely ran some gen builds, things that I don't normally run. In earlier clips, you see me running Boon Illumination, paired with Deja Vu and Prove Thyself, and Built to Last. I really wanted to run some builds that really had to do with the topic of the update. Now, Alan Wake's perks are a huge portion of the update, but I think Alan Wake gets overlooked because of the generator update. I think 3genning is such a hot topic amongst the community that it's tough to ignore in an update like this. Something that I was sad about today was the fact that it really didn't feel like an update day. Usually on an update day, you are put on the same map that they've worked on over and over again. You also usually see the same survivor, like Alan Wake, for example, over and over today, but you really didn't see him a whole lot. But the worst part about today was the fact that it didn't feel different was because 3-genning isn't something that even happens a lot in the game. But the fact that we continued to get slugged and tunneled in Dead by Daylight at very early on points of the game is so tiresome at this point. You do really sort of feel defeated if you are somebody who plays this game as much as I do. Now, I don't say that as a flex. I say that because I worry about the game and I worry about the casual player base. I know there are a lot of you who share the same opinions, and I'm sure there are plenty of you who were very excited for today, and I'm very glad that you are. We need people to continue to be happy about this game. But unfortunately, I feel that there are more and more of us who feel like behavior does not hear us when it comes to the things that we think are necessary in the game. And I'm not talking about entitled survivor things. I understand that there are moments that slugging and tunneling that need to happen. But when there's 5 gens to go, there's really no pressure that needs to be created and needing to run something like knockout and slug the survivors before they've even had a chance to touch a generator. Overall, today felt like another day on Dead by Daylight. It unfortunately didn't have the same kind of hype and appeal that an update day for a new survivor or a new killer even has. I'm very curious to see the state of the game and how it continues. It's not something that I want to see die, and I even hate to use that phrase. I don't think Dead by Daylight is a game that's going to die because, let's be honest, there's really nothing else out there that's like Dead by Daylight, no matter how many times they've tried. But that simple fact isn't strong enough to be able to save Dead by Daylight, and neither is Alan Wake. So as always, good luck, have fun, and be careful of all those 3 gens.